Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a really cozy, fun day because we are going to prep some houseplants for winter. So we're going to be doing some repotting of plants that are living outside right now and just getting them ready to come back inside because tonight's low is going to be 42, which is pretty low for houseplants. I don't like to have them out there if it's any colder than like 55 degrees. So it's been around 55, 54-ish the last couple of nights. And they're doing fine. It's just that 42 is kind of a little bit too cold for them. So I'm going to repot them and bring them in for the season because even if it does heat up even a little bit more over the next couple of nights, it is going to eventually get down to being cold at night. Below their threshold. So I'm gonna bring them in. My cactus, however, I'm going to leave out until it gets closer down to freezing because cacti are pretty frost tolerant and can handle it pretty well. So I'm gonna have them out there for just a bit longer, probably a couple more weeks, and then I'll be repotting those ones and bringing them in. My friend Nicole actually told me that she repots most of her collection when she brings them back inside. I personally didn't do that in Tucson, but I also didn't have like spiders and bugs living in my pots with my plants, which I'm pretty sure is the case, at least with the really big philodendron, the super leafy, well, it's not even a philodendron, it's the name that starts with a TH that no one can say. It's a psalm, basically. And so I'm just certain that there's lots of bugs living in that one. So I'm gonna have to do some treatment. I'm gonna also keep it in my plant room here because this room is kind of cut off from the rest of my house. And I can just shut a door that's basically like a front door and seal off this room just in case there are any bugs in there. It would really only be spiders. It wouldn't be anything scarier than that, but I have seen a lot of spiders like crawling out of the pot when I do water the plant, so I'm gonna have to be mindful of that. And it's too big for me to repot. Like that was recently repotted and it's so much soil to repot it, so I won't be repotting it again. I'm just going to sort of keep an eye on it and maybe water in with some insecticidal soap or something like that. I'm going to observe first and see if there even are any spiders in it because they might have, well, there probably are spiders in it. We're gonna repot right now. I don't know how much soil I'm gonna have available for this, but this is what the first plant looks like. This is my first house plant ever, actually. And I have to show you something very interesting. All of this growth here at the bottom is brand new. It's come out this summer while the plant has been living outside. Super fun and exciting. It's also put out a ton of growth up here, but it's kind of funny because we have this bottom section just totally doing the most, the middle section not doing anything, and then the top doing quite a bit. So actually a lot of these branches are growing out of old leaf holes, so I'm confident that maybe with time that'll keep happening and we'll have a nice full trunk. But I was considering chopping and propping it, but I think I'm going to leave it now and see what happens if I don't. So I have a different terracotta pot, a terracotta pot without a lip, because I'm realizing that the lip on a terracotta pot is very helpful and important when I'm using those pot clips that I use inside, for example. I also have a few hanging up out in the garden, but it just helps me to hang plants. What is that? Ew. Gross. It helps me to hang plants on the wall a lot easier, and I quite enjoy it. So let's get to repotting this. Oh, okay. Oh man, we need a bigger pot. This always happens to me, you know that? I always think that the pot is gonna be big enough and then it isn't. But we're gonna try to make this work. Oh, there you go. We need some sort of stick to hold this plant up. Something quite strong. Well, I've got these really long bamboo stakes. Let's see how this compares to the height. Yeah, it's a bit long. Maybe if I could cut it somehow. I just trimmed it with my saw, so that should be a lot better as far as height goes. I know that you can't see the height right now, but you will, and you will understand why I did that. Whenever I'm planting a little stake in with the plant, I like to shove it down all the way to the bottom so that it doesn't sway around too much. And then of course, we're gonna top fill. Anytime I repot a ficus, I try to minimally disturb the roots because ficus do not like to be messed with. And the soil that is surrounding the plant is okay. It's not terrible soil. It's not the best soil, but it's not terrible. So we're just going to make sure that we backfill so that the plant is getting lots of new nutrients with new soil. Ow! Ouch. When you kneel on pumice, it doesn't feel good. Okay, if there is a plant product that I am the biggest advocate for, it is this plant Velcro. And here's why. I don't even know when I cut these pieces of plant Velcro. I just found it crumpled up in my plant stuff. And it's still good to use right now. Like right this second, I'm gonna use it. Some of these pieces are pretty small, so I'm just going to connect them together and adhere old plant here. I feel like I should name this plant. You guys know that this was my first houseplant ever, right? I think that I mentioned that like 100 times. I never show it on camera though, so you might not know which ficus it is, but it's this one. This was my first houseplant ever. I had plants before it, of course, like basil and some propagations, but first houseplant that I ever like purchased with the intention of collecting houseplants was this one. And I got it from Sprouts Farmers Market. One fateful day. She looks much better. Let me show you. Let's see her. Hold on, you can't even see her because she's so tall. There we go. Can you see that? I wanted to take a brief moment to talk about today's sponsor, which is Warby Parker. I have gotten glasses from them for many years, so this is really truly a dream sponsorship for me. Warby Parker is committed to providing excellent vision care online and in person in stores by offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And I want to talk with you today about their home try-on kit, where they send you 5 glasses and you're able to try them on in your home, figure out if you like them or not, and then send them back after 5 days. It is free shipping, and they also provide a shipping label to send back. Here's what's inside. I ordered 5 different lenses. I'm gonna try them on for you while I chat a little bit more about what Warby Parker is all about. So I picked out 5 lenses, 3 of which are just regular glasses, and then 2 of which are sunglasses. I've been really wanting to look into prescription sunglasses because I've been wearing glasses more than I've been wearing contacts lately, and I feel like prescription sunglasses are just the way to go for that because I cannot wear sunglasses over my glasses. The home try-on is really helpful because you want your glasses to fit you well, and with Warby Parker having styles ranging from extra narrow to extra wide, they definitely have something that will fit your face and all face shapes. If you want to try out more than 5 glasses, you can also use the Warby Parker app to virtually try on eyeglasses, where you can see the realistic color, texture, and size of each style. And with their virtual vision test, you can renew your prescription yourself on your iPhone for just $15. You can download their virtual vision testing app to see if you're eligible. Something that makes me love Warby Parker even more is knowing that every time you purchase a pair of glasses, a pair of glasses gets donated to somebody in need. They partner up with nonprofits like Vision Spring to ensure that this happens. And I think that that is such a powerful movement, because just thinking about there being people out there who don't have good vision, like myself, who need vision correction to even function and work and go to school and live their lives, and not having access to that, it's really sad. And I feel like that is super unfair because this is not something that you can help. You know, you can't just work out your eyes and get better vision. You know, this is something that it is what it is, more or less. So I love that Warby Parker does that. I think that's a super important initiative, and I love, love, love supporting their company because I know that my purchases go towards something really good. I really hope that you will check out Warby Parker. You can head over to the link down below, www.warbyparker.com/plants, so they know that I sent you, and go ahead and try out your home kit and hopefully find some new glasses. This right here is my very naughty ficus. It's basically horizontal. I think because of the wind and stuff, we had a really bad like rain and windstorm, and I think it just really took down on this one. But we have so much growth activity happening on this plant. And if you know me at all, if you're familiar with my channel, you know that this is the plant that I have the biggest love-hate relationship with, because it is gorgeous, but it is also extremely irritating and strange looking. So this one hasn't quite gotten that growth at the bottom here. I might try notching it to see if that like does anything, but I am going to repot it, and I'm going to give it a stronger stake. I'm going to take another one of these and trim it once I know, you know, what I need it to be. But I'm probably going to just leave this plant in this pot because it doesn't really seem like it's growing out of the pot at all. We will of course put that to the test when we check out the soil. The soil is super wet because of that storm that we had, so I'm just kind of taking this and plopping it around the edges to see if I can break that seal. There she is. Okay. All right, I'm gonna cut it right here. Right here. This has always been my most well-behaved of my ficus. This one is a Taniki. Also, I was told at one point that it was a ruby. I think that's what I bought it as. And she's doing quite well here. I definitely could upgrade the pots on all of these, but I don't have them. And I'll probably wait until they're bursting out of their pots again, because there's not like a ton of rootage. This honestly feels mostly like soil. But for the winter, we're gonna keep it low key. I don't wanna give them too much space because rotting is definitely not out of the question here. There she goes, no fuss. I was almost done recording, or repotting, I guess. And then I remembered that this plant also needs to be repotted. And this one, I've already seen 2 bugs in it. There's a big fat grasshopper, and then there's a daddy long leg spider down here. Look who else was taking a nap in my plant. Little tree frog. I have these all over the place. I keep finding them. So this one will be interesting. I need you guys to go. Daddy long legs don't scare me, honestly. I just wouldn't want one to like touch me. Oh no, is it dead? Excuse me, sir. Oh, you're alive. Okay, you gotta go. Sorry, I know that you were probably asleep, but we gotta get moving here. You too, Mama Grasshopper, can you go, please? Can you go somewhere else, please? What are you pooping out? I have never repotted this plant before, so I'm not... Cold water just got all over me! Because ficus are especially temperamental, I'm not even gonna mess with the soil. I'm just gonna add soil and then be done with it, because I really don't want to mess up what we have going on here.
Becca?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a good day.
You too. I'm wearing the same shirt again the next day. Leave your judgments at the door. I wanted to come out because I forgot to bring these plants in last night and they're fine, thankfully. I did check the weather and it didn't go below 55, although the low did say 42, but it did not hit 42. It looks like all of the buggies and frogs have left the premises. So I'm going to go and get some spray. Basically, I'm just gonna spray them with 8, Bonide 8, and then I'm gonna bring them inside shortly after. And that will be their overwintering process. And I'm going to be storing them in the office, which has a south window. I wanted to quickly show you the process of using 8. So I have a concentrate, which means that you have to water it down. So what I'm going to do is add 3 tablespoons of this to 1 gallon of water. Actually, I don't even think this is a gallon. This is 1.5 liters. Hold on, I have to do some calculations. Okay, so if this is 2 liters, that is half a gallon. So I need to use 3 tablespoons for every single gallon. So if this is half a gallon, I'm just gonna do half a tablespoon. Does that sound right? I don't know. Ugh. That smell is so potent. This is my trusty spray bottle. It works off of a pressure system so that you don't have to constantly be pressing a button to spray it. So you just sort of add some pressure with the pump and then you get spraying. We have a new solution. I have on a whim decided that I would like to sell some plants because some of these plants are just not doing it for me anymore. So I think that I'm gonna be mostly focusing on some Sansevieria, snake plants, Dracaena, you know. And I'm gonna show you how I'm doing that. So the plant that I know that I for sure wanna get rid of is this right here. And it's very thirsty right now, so I feel like I'm gonna need to water it, like just make it look better so that people can be assured that they're buying a healthy plant from me. So I have this 8 spray and I decided that I'm just gonna use that to like wash the leaves of this plant and make sure that it's pest free. I mean, I'm pretty certain it's pest free, but you never know. There's always a little bit of a risk. So I'm just going to wipe down all the leaves super well. Honestly, my Sansevieria could have all been put outside this summer. That probably would have been much better for them. For some reason, I didn't even think to do that. Maybe I would have liked them more if I did do that. But the fact of the matter is, when you bring plants back inside, you have to find a place for them to go. And I just feel, even though it's only like 4 plants, they're big plants, and I do feel like slightly overwhelmed at the thought of 4 big plants being brought in here. And also, whenever I think about how I want to get rid of plants and then I don't get rid of them, I just end up neglecting them to the point where they die on their own, which is really sad, and I don't want to do that to these plants because they're really beautiful. And I feel like they could be really happy in someone else's home. And maybe there's someone out there who's been looking for a Sansevieria moonshine or a Dracaena moonshine. Now this whale fin, this is the only one that I'm more hesitant to get rid of because it is a really cool plant, but at the same time, it's not as if I couldn't get another one if I wanted to. I think that people will be interested in this because there are like 4 fins in it. And honestly, I forget that I even have this plant. Like, it was really special to me for a while, and then now I don't even pay attention to it. I don't really care about it. So we're gonna send it off to somebody who does care about it and want it. Because honestly, I have never seen one of these for sale in a store. Besides like maybe one time in Arizona, I saw like a really big one selling for a lot of money. And it has become so much more beautiful in recent years. Like when I first got it, it wasn't very pretty. The leaves were all kind of like this, very dark green. And then now they're coming out a nice like white variegation. This is probably the only one that I'll keep. As I'm talking about it, I'm kind of convincing myself to keep it. But like it just sits in that corner and I never think about it, so I don't know. But I think I'm a little bit more hesitant about this one. It's really important to dust your plants because if you don't, they're not able to photosynthesize. It's like putting sunglasses on your plants, but like in a bad way. And yeah, it's not good for them. So make sure that you're dusting your plants. These ones are like Sansevieria or like ZZ. Spiky plants, I feel like are overlooked a lot when it comes to this because you think to yourself, oh, I don't know, you can't really see the dust as well as you can on other plants, but it still happens just as much. So just snap a few so that, you know, everyone can see what we're working with here. And I'll say it's going to include the pot because I don't really want this pot. It has some like discoloration. So anyway, I'll take like a close up photos of her. This one's a little bit more beat up. I'm gonna start with those two and then see what else I'm thinking, but I'm pretty sure those are the only two that I want to get rid of right now. All right, my friends, that is going to be all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me for a few days doing some overwintering projects for my houseplants. And you know, I kind of jumped the gun on when those plants would be ready to come inside. I don't know why, but we had like a freak day that was really cold and I just got like nervous and didn't want the plants to die. So I did the process to bring them inside and they're still outside. So what I'm gonna do in a couple weeks when they are actually ready to come inside, I'm going to spray them down again with some 8 and then water them pretty well and make sure there's no like spiders living inside of the pots. But honestly, there was minimal bugs inside of the plants. Like when I was repotting, I didn't really see anything at all. It was mostly on the fiddle leaf fig where there was the grasshopper, the daddy longleg, and the frog, which all left, you know, after I escorted them out. So I think that we're gonna be okay and they will be ready to come inside maybe in another couple of weeks. But, you know, I might have jumped the gun a little bit, but it does have this information in your ears, like in front of you so that you know what to do when the time comes if you have plants outside. And also it was just a relaxing vlog. So I hope that you enjoyed. And again, a huge thank you to Warby Parker for sponsoring this video. I love them. Please go check them out. The website link is in the description box. And if you click that link, they'll know that you came from me, which will help me out as well. Thank you very much for watching and make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already. I would love to have you around here more often and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.